Right, you're going to be nice this time, Andrew.
You can't
Tell them what you were saying.
No,
Tell them what you were saying.
I wasn't saying anything.
No, because we'll get demonetised because it was so nasty.
That's not fair. You're out there spoon-feeding people lies with your William and Katie spoons and stuff. Come on now. Don't be doing this to people.
Well, you don't be doing this to people. I just think it's a shame because you seem like such a nice guy. Yeah, it's different, isn't it? Behind the scenes to being on screen, you know. Well, live and learn, eh? Shall we take a look at the headlines? Horrible boy. A wrestling legend has teased his retirement. We have the real reason a certain AEW star missed last night's Dynamite. And Batista has taken a shot pow at WWE Creative. So we talked about this man a little earlier on this morning's news video. Last night, SCU imploded. They are no more. After losing to the Young Bucks, SCU, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian are no longer a tag team. And now we're going to talk about the older of the two, Christopher Daniels, who has just taken to Twitter, simply writing, "That might be all." Daniels teasing his retirement, Andrew.
Sad.
Is it legit?
Sad. I hope not. I mean, that was a fantastic match, and you can tell that Daniels put everything into it because it was just pouring with blood and everything. And I mean, that wouldn't be a bad way to go out, but I think there is another match somewhere in there with him just to just completely go all out and go out in style. That's and it would be nice to see.
It's not a retirement match for Christopher Daniels. That one last night on your free weekly TV show, they can make a way bigger deal of that. He's a former Ring of Honor champ. I don't need to list his accomplishments. It's Christopher Daniels. He's been in the business for forever now. And he's amazing, obviously. I really don't want Kaz and Daniels to feud now. It seems like too obvious a route to go down. They've got so much history, and I just don't think they should do that.
No, I agree. I think that would be not necessarily a cop-out because of the history that they've got, but I think there's surely something more interesting somewhere within AEW for Daniels to go out.
Without a doubt. It wouldn't surprise me if he went part-time now. Maybe we'll see him pop up now and again. We'll see him less frequently on the TV shows. But this isn't the end for Christopher Daniels. He's working us. But he's teasing the retirement. You make up your own mind. Sticking with AEW now. We have the real reason a certain AEW star missed last night's Dynamite. Obviously, absent from the show, Santana. In a promo cut earlier, Ortiz said that Santana was in jail because MJF had him arrested for using a fork in the Blood and Guts match last week. Now, I don't want to pull back the curtain too much, but that isn't true. That is what we call kayfabe, ladies and gentlemen. That is an excuse because he's a bit under the weather. What happened?
He is. So on the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer's reported that the reasoning for Santana's absence on Dynamite was just because he's currently sick, and AEW is just simply taking precaution, obviously due to the pandemic, which is a sensible thing to do. But Yeah.
No further details on what it may be. It's not mentioned if it is COVID related or not, but obviously they're taking sensible steps to protect their talent and staff. Moving on now. Before we do, actually, we wish Santana all the best, of course. Moving on though, Ric Flair has said in a recent interview that he was uncomfortable with a certain WWE storyline that I think it's fair to say that we were all a little uncomfortable with because it was very, very bad. We are talking about the Lacey Evans, Charlotte, Ric Flair. I almost called it a love triangle there.
That would be a little bit weird.
Yeah, well, it was still a little bit weird anyway. Andrew, I almost called you Alex. Tell us what he said. Alex did.
So he was a special guest on the Ariel, I think it's pronounced Helwani MMA show. He was a guest on there, and he said, "In this instance, I didn't feel comfortable. The one thing I've learned is that you're not going to win a war when someone's got their mind made up." And I assume that's obviously talking about Vince McMahon there. Mm-hmm. She most definitely didn't like it. But the one thing that I can say about me is I always said yes. I didn't want to be that guy that was always going, "Oh, that isn't perfect for me." He goes on to say, "When that was all over, I was mad, but now I just look back and say it wasn't it. This was something that when I got to TV, Mr. McMahon wasn't there to argue the point with, and he had stuff going on."
Sorry, Mr. McMahon.
He's a good boy. He knows who he's speaking to. He's a respectful man. He's a respectful man. I don't like to put pressure on someone if I can't talk to him. He just made up his mind. I think a lot of it was because Lacey was a Marine. God only knows we cannot give enough back to the people that serve in the military. And I think he wanted her to be successful. And the way to get successful sometimes is to take two people that are doing really well and give them the rub. Woo!
There you go. It was just bad. I hope when Lacey comes back, they don't revisit it because it started off poorly. I think, obviously, the plan was to lead it all the way to WrestleMania, and I don't think many people would have really cared, unfortunately. No. Was he uncomfortable with it? He's done worse.
He's done a lot worse.
Let's face it. Moving on to other WWE Hall of Famers right now, as Bayley has called out a couple of them, two women that she has had previous dealings with. Cast your mind back to WrestleMania. Bayley getting her big WrestleMania moment as she was hit very hard by Nikki and Brie, and then she did a big long roly-poly down the stage and didn't have a match. It was ridiculous. Anyway, she has called out the Bellas appearing on the bump yesterday, Andrew.
Yeah, so she said, you know how many videos that I had to see after WrestleMania of people adding music to that role?
Like two.
I can't You know how embarrassing that was? You hear from those fans booing in the crowd. That's right. That's because it was ridiculous.
She's so good, isn't she?
She's amazing.
It's really good heel work, isn't it? It's like, yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's making the best out of just a strange situation, what that was, isn't she? Bless her. She continues anyway, and she officially calls them out directly, and she says, so Bella Twins, this won't be the last time that we see each other because you embarrassed me, and on one of the hardest weekends of my life, you embarrassed me and put a little salt in the wound, so I'm not going to forget that. Bella Twins, yes. I'm calling both of you out.
Good for her. I mean, it's a weird one with the Bellas because I'm a bigger Bella fan than I think a lot of people who are like, I don't know, on the smarky side of things. I don't know what to call us. But you proper like hardcore wrestling fans like you and I. I've always quite enjoyed the Bellas, and I know a lot of people don't feel that way. But a match between Bayley and one of the Bellas, or Bayley tagging with someone to take on the Bellas, doesn't really do anything for me in the same way that, like, I don't know, Bayley versus Lita or Beth Phoenix or Trish or something like that wouldn't necessarily feel like a passing of the torch as such, but it would feel a lot bigger than the Bellas. There's just something about them that doesn't, that they don't come to mind as, like, they're not on the same level for me. And I do really like them. I'm not trying to take anything away from their in-ring work or character work or anything. But no, you'd want to see?
Not again, not really, not particularly. Like you said, something like a Lita or a Trish would be something more exciting for me personally. The Bellas, they do good in ring work, and like, you know, the good heels and stuff as well.
I think they improved a great deal as well, and they put a lot of eyes on WWE. Like the mainstream crossover appeal of Total Bellas, especially, is huge. I've spoken to many people who are familiar with various WWE personalities via Total Divas, Total Bellas, that sort of thing. So they certainly they put the hours in and all that. It just doesn't get me that excited. Speaking of excited, Batista has been very excited to take a shot at WWE Creative. Segue, Andrew.
What do you do when Batista's taking a shot at him? You get up. You give it one of them. That's that. So, WWE posted on their Instagram saying, it's on this Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash. Who will walk out as the WWE Raw Women's Champion?
Charlotte.
And Dave, please no. Dave replied saying, seriously, jobbing out Asuka? WTF?
Oh, he's not happy, boy. He's done a little smirky face as well. I mean, Asuka isn't leaving with that title. I expect her to be the one to take the pin there as well.
Yeah, I agree. But again, I agree with Dave. She wasn't booked the best in her most recent run with the belt, and it does feel very, very strange for Asuka kind of just to be like pushed to the side a little bit in this. It's a shame. Maybe eventually she will come back up again and be back on top and be the dominant Asuka that we know. But like at the moment, Dave's got a big old good point there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the guy. Hey, just give us Bayley versus Asuka instead. Scrap the Bellas off. Just have Bayley and Asuka. We'll have a laugh. Andrew, you got anything to plug?
No, just Twitch, I guess. Twitch.tv/Cultaholic on Mondays. We've got Monday Fun Days where we just play things. I've written on your ball cream that we're getting a win on Fall Guys.
Fans are twats. Why did you do that?
No, I didn't. Stop it. Look, right, if anybody is thinking that, go and watch the recent predictions video. This lad here, he's just kicking people in the street for fun. Don't listen to him.
I don't know who that
Don't
person
listen
was.
to him.
Not a clue. Right. Anyway, go and watch the predictions. Take care of yourselves. All the best. Sweet dreams. God bless. Oh, and John Moxley came out. I forgot about that story. Came out to wow things. You make my heart sing. It doesn't work like sing, does it? It's rubbish. You make everything. Groovy. Slip right through.
Yeah, he's got
groovy. Oh, that was a bit
Scooby-Doo. That what's going on there?
Right. All right. See ya.
Bye.